What would I do if I was starting my car sales business all over again in 2025? In this video, I'm going to give you my 6 or 7 top tips of what I would do if starting out again this year. The first thing I would say is document absolutely everything. Be it on YouTube, be it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, social media. Get your name out there. Bring people along for the journey. Create a personal brand. There's 2 reasons for this. Obviously, people would get buy-in from you from the start. They can see you building the business and everything like that. People like following the journey. And also, even from your own point of view, wouldn't it be nice to look back on your journey in 10, 15 years' time and be able to have everything documented, your startup business, from opening your business to the first year and everything like that. I think that would be a fantastic thing to look back on in years to come. But definitely document everything. Absolutely plaster social media with all your stuff. Trust me, from someone who's done it, it really works. Second thing I would do is focus on quality rather than quantity of cars in stock. I think a lot of people when they're starting out, they might have, let's say, 80 or 100 grand and they're like, right, I'm going to need 20 cars for 4 grand each or something like that. Honestly, that is a recipe for disaster. If you're starting out and your overheads are pretty low, you don't need a huge number of cars in stock. You just don't. They'll break your heart. The cheap stuff will drive you absolutely cuckoo. So focus on quality. It is much better to have 6, 7 or 8 cars in stock, let's say, for example, of good quality with good margins in, than having a full forecourt, which again looks great, but you have a lot of filler stock in there as well that you mightn't be making a huge amount of money off. So quality over quantity is hugely, hugely important. Third thing I would say is find your niche, find your market. When you're starting your business, you cannot have a car to suit every person. You don't have the money for it. You mightn't even have the space for it. You just can't. So to try and have something for everyone is a waste of time, in my opinion. Some lads do really well out of selling vans. Some lads do really well out of selling Jeeps. Some do Audis. Some do some lads do well out of Range Rovers. Some lads do well out of all different types of cars. You need to find, I suppose, a brand that you're comfortable with selling. A brand that, a type of customer base that you're going to particularly target. For us, at the moment, we do Jap import cars and we do nice kind of kitted Audis and BMWs and all that kind of thing. It works for us. Some lads only do vans and they have a fantastic business from that. So find your niche and try and pick what corner of the market you want to go down, because there's so much out there as well. You cannot do everything. In addition to that, let's say if you specialize in Audis or BMWs and you sell them all day, every day, you're going to get so much better at knowing how much these cars are worth, how much to be buying them for, where to get parts. When you're showing a customer around the 3 Series that you've sold 50 of them already, you're going to be rattle off the spec. You're going to say, oh, this is the M Sport Plus package, this is Harman Kardon's, this is that, this is that. You're going to know these cars inside out. Customers really buy into someone that has confidence in what they're selling and competence in what they're doing as well. The next thing I'd say is look after your own warranty. I know it can be daunting for some people. They might feel very exposed if they're covering the costs of their own warranty, but trust me on it, a lot of the external warranty companies, I know some people that have used them and eventually they go back to doing their own warranties themselves. Your warranty is your reputation. You're going to be based on your repeat business, your reputation, your Google reviews is going to be based primarily on your warranty and your after sales. And the way I look at it as well, you shouldn't outsource the most important part of your car sales business. I find as well with external warranty companies, and I'm not naming any because there's a lot of them out there and a lot of them, they have a similar kind of they're all kind of similar. Like a lot of times you put an external warranty on a car and then you end up covering out of your own pocket. On top of paying for the warranty, you end up covering out of your own pocket an additional warranty cost. So I think if you set aside €300 per car into a pot, maybe a separate bank account, and look after your own warranty pot, I honestly think you'll be far better off. The next thing I'd say is grow organically as much as possible. There's a lot of companies out there that, you might be in business 3 or 4 months and they're saying, hey, do you want to get a bit of extra funding and all that? If you're in business for the first year or so, the only funding that's going to be available to you, or credit lines are going to be available to you, are quite costly, high interest facilities. These can quickly ramp up in terms of interest costs as well. So start off slow, focus on a fairly low number of cars that you have in stock, and grow the business organically with accumulated profits. It'll put you under far less pressure. And you have to remember as you might be starting off a business, let's say you're 30 years of age or something like that. You don't have to be a millionaire by 32. It's a long journey ahead, and you might be in business for the next 30 years. And just be patient with the thing and don't get too greedy and take on too much debt all of a sudden. Things are good at the moment, no doubt about it, but they might not always be good. And the last thing you want is a big noose around your neck with a huge amount of debt. The next thing I would say is become obsessed with the numbers. You should have everything documented on a spreadsheet or on a computer system, from everything that you're spending, every car that you're buying, how much you're buying it for, how much you're spending it for, how much VAT has to be paid in it, what your expected profit out of that deal and what your realized profit out of that deal is to the cent. You need to know all these things. And at the end of every week or at the end of every month, you need to look over all the cars you've sold and everything that you've done in business, and you need to do more of the things that made you plenty of money and less of the things that you're a busy fool doing. I know that sounds obvious, but the amount of lads that I talk to are starting up the businesses that don't keep track of the numbers. They just focus on being busy the whole time and running around the place and, oh, I was offered that car, I bought that car. It's like, okay, how much money do you generally make, let's say, off 3 Series between 2015 and 2017? And they can't tell you. Okay, what's your warranty spend on Nissan Cash guys, generally speaking? They can't tell you. You need to know all these things. Focus more on the things that make you money and less on the things that don't make you money. And live your life. Buy the numbers and the spreadsheets. You have to buy cars with your head, not your heart. Sometimes you get a nice car into stock, goes, oh, that's a nice fancy oak. Yeah, but how much money are you going to make out of it? And that's what it all boils down to. And it's very tempting sometimes when you're in business and you start making a few pounds and you start buying a few oaks with the heart and all that, or with your ego. But you need to buy with your head as much as possible or you really get stung, trust me on it. The final thing I would say is become the person who does X in your industry. What I mean by that, you need to be known as the person that does something or other. We became known for, we did a lot of funny videos, let's say, for example, on Facebook and Instagram back in the day. I used to show off my socks on Instagram. I used to have a lot of funny Instagram stories years ago, like 6 years ago, when no one really was doing that. Everyone is really serious. People are a lot more lighthearted now with TikTok. But I became known from that, so I had kind of the humorous social media content, but I also backed that up with a strong Google presence, let's say, a strong online presence, a strong reputation and everything like that. But you need to be the one that does this. I'll use Nadia from Ashford Motors as an example. She is instantly recognizable as, obviously she's a female in the motor trade, she does TikTok really well, she's all over social media, but she is known for that. You need to find what your niche is and what you're going to be known for. You could be a lad in Galway that sells vans and he does funny van videos. Don't know what your niche is, but it's so important that when people think of you and they see, when people think of you or look at you, they'll say, oh, you're the guy that does this. It will do absolutely wonders for your business, trust me. And the final thing I'll say is just be sound. I know that sounds so obvious, but like, be sound, transparent and good to deal with, be to your customers, be to suppliers, be to other people in the motor industry. Everyone sees everyone nowadays and they can see everything so transparent, and I think the lads that are excuse my language, that are cunts will quickly be found out. But if you're sound to deal with and you're good to customers and you're good in the trade, you're well respected, business will come your direction. I think now more than ever, people want to deal with people that are sound and nice to deal with and competent as well. That's very important. Hope you got some good tips from that video. If you have any questions at all, please do drop a comment below. And yeah, thank you very much.